feels good to be back with a brand new series, and one that, to be frank, we've been looking forward to for quite some time. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to oNiD Racing. Welcome to our live Twitch feed of the oNiD Rookies European Championship 2022, sponsored by Sim Stuff, of course. My name's Adam D, currently referred to as Pegleg Adam, but I'm sure we'll discuss that at some point tonight. But joining me very briefly before he goes off to do the driver's briefing, but then returning into the commentary box afterwards, is the one, the only, Mr. Johnny Ashley. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, mate. How are you?
All right, apart from the broken foot. That still hasn't repaired itself. 7 days later, and it's still broken. What?
How dare they?
Apart from that, I'm not too shabby, thank you very much. Riding high on painkillers and Coca-Cola. What about yourself? You good?
Yeah, all good here. Looking forward to this one. Been much in the planning, so this will be a great way to start the season as well.
First time you mentioned the idea of this series was maybe, September last year?
Yeah, I think it was. It's always been an idea. But an idea, there's other communities that do rookie leagues. This one's, I wanted to do a bit different.
Yeah.
So we have coaches, we have a lap tracker for prizes, which I'm sure you can talk about shortly. So we have coaches available. We've got 3 classes. So we've got a Pro, a Silver and an AM class. So 3 championships up for grabs. And yeah, custom liveries, the whole works. We've gone the whole hog with this, and I'm hoping it's going to be a foundation of something greater to come for oNiD.
And a banging stream to go with as well, of course. Well, that's what we hope anyway. So welcome to any of you joining us. I'm having a few troubles getting the chat up on my phone at the minute, so if you are saying hello in the chat, I tell you the way I can see it. I can whack the old Twitch chat screen on your screen for the moment until I sort my phone out. So yeah, there is a few of you there. Good evening. Oh, good evening, Nightbot. Welcome. Willie's favourite person. Evening, Ben. Thank you. He is back indeed. Heike van der Veen, both in the chat and in the server. Good man. Race day, baby, indeed it is. Manning Tox, let's go. You drive 42. So that's Pablo Garrido, I think. Welcome along. You're watching while... no, I won't say that. Let's just say the follow-up comment, Johnny, was, I got to start the race with less weight. So you can imagine what he's doing pre-race.
The main man Vest is here.
He is indeed. Yeah, the rookie race, nice indeed. The kind of thing that you, sir, are banned from, because you are too good these days. As are you, Johnny. That's why you're not racing. You are...
Absolutely.
You are banned. But you weren't quite good enough to be a coach, so here you are with me instead, right?
Oh yeah, I'm still learning myself, so I could never be a coach. But we have got some great coaches. So these guys will learn all about what it is to do league racing. And let's not be. It doesn't mean if you're a rookie, it doesn't mean you're slow. There is some really quick guys pumping times in left, right, and centre. Yeah. It's just an introduction to league racing. A lot of people have come from.
Our fastest guy's just dipped into the 23s.
Yeah, and that's a good pace. But all these guys are either new to sim racing, new to ACC. They might not have actually raced against other humans. A lot of them come maybe from AI racing, so this might be their first time into a league. So some people are naturally quick. And have that natural ability and have been playing the game a while, but just they've never done it in a league setting. So that's what the Rookies is all about, is getting them as a good starting point. And it'd be lovely to see these guys in our other leagues as well as they progress. They go into GT4s, GT3s, endurance races, whatever we put on.
Absolutely. I mean, Tom Stocks, I love you. I love you so much, because just reminding me that actually maybe one qualification for being a rookie would be the inability to survive a Kyalami formation.
I'm a moderator, right? So I could just ban him?
You could, but but I'm also a moderator, so I'll just unban him. So listen, I think you need to head off and do driver's briefing, am I right?
I do. I will be back shortly.
Excellent. That leaves you guys in chat in my capable hands right now. I say capable, they're certainly more capable than my feet anyway. So you will start to see this track get a little quieter over the next couple of minutes because everyone will now be asked to go back to the pits and listen intensely to Johnny Ashley's instructions. The driver's briefing, for those of you that have never done really league racing before, is just an opportunity to go over some of the key rules, the expectations, also a little bit of a pep talk for the drivers, just quick reminders on the sort of things that you should and shouldn't be doing. And look, let's not forget, that's the intention of this league. This Rookies League is not all about winning races and being the fastest. Obviously, from a stream point of view, that's what we're going to be looking at and showing you the action. But the idea of this whole league is to take a group of drivers, many of whom are brand new to oNiD, and give them help and support and work with them to become better sim racers. As Johnny said, that's not necessarily always about pace. That could be about consistency, it could be about how they set their car up, could be about racecraft. We've seen some guys in other championships that come in, absolutely blow some of the really quick guys away with their one lap pace, but then never end up on the podium come race time. And it's about asking and answering some of those questions as well. So lots of stuff to be worked out through this season. The build up to it has been really good as well. There's been evaluation races, practice races, pre-season testing nights. There's all kinds of stuff going on behind the scenes to give these guys as much track time as possible with the coaches. We will talk about the coaches a little bit later, who they are and what it's all about. But that gives you a little indication as to what this series is all about. So some support for Yuval out there. Absolutely, the man is rapid. But Mickey, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Greggles, you're up in 9th place. And that's some serious pace. You could be a bit of a surprise tonight. Greg Prescott, good evening. Welcome along to the stream. And Tom with us as well. Yeah, Greg should have had an oNiD one. You're absolutely right. But yellow and purple will do. I do love that livery, I have to say. It's always been one of my favourites. If we can't really get a good look at it parked in the pits, but it is an absolute beaut. So, let's take a look at the schedule for this championship as well. So we'll shove it up with a picture of a beautiful SimStuff Lexus GT3 car in the background, which was supposed to be taking part in the World Series, but I can't drive right now, so we're reduced to using it as a background image instead. Just a shame because Ben did some great work on the liveries there. Ben22 Racing, your man for liveries. So this is the series laid out in front of you tonight. We're at Brands Hatch GP, so a phenomenal circuit in Kent, England, United Kingdom. Just a fantastic circuit. High speed, tricky to negotiate at the best pace. Elevation changes, even the grid. I mean, these guys are obviously doing a rolling start, but you watch British Touring Car Championships trying to launch off the line here. You've got part of the grid going uphill start, part of the grid on downhill start, part on off camber, part on camber. It's a crazy grid here as well. The elevation changes at Brands are superb. It's a great old school British track, and that's exactly where we are tonight. Misano will be where we are next week. So the thing I forgot to say is tonight is 2 30-minute races. Same thing next week at Misano, 2 30-minute races. The week after is Imola, and that is one single 45-minute race. So just starting to introduce the rookies at that point into longer stints, longer races. Then you get Monza is round 4, and that's a real test of can we keep these guys neat and tidy through turn 1. We'll see. That's 17th of Feb. Remember that one. Hungaroring. I said it slowly because I keep saying Hungaroring when I say it. I don't know why. 24th of Feb, that one, for 2 30-minute races. And then we finish off at the Theatre of Dreams, the home of motor racing, Silverstone, 3rd of March, with a 60-minute race. It's going to be a fantastic series, and I have been looking forward to streaming this bad boy ever since it popped out of Johnny's brain as a little kernel of an idea. And here we are. Here we are. So, I say, get involved on the chat as well. Make sure you are having a watch along this evening. Still trying to get my phone connected up so I can actually follow the chat on there. But you know, my Wi-Fi does not want to play ball tonight. Jeez. It's just as well I'm hardwired for the broadcast, really, isn't it? Or else we would be in all manner of trouble. But we're not right now. We are hardwired and we are ready to go. So I'll continue working on that. Anyone just joining us and wondering why on earth all the cars are sat in the pits right now, it's because they are having their driver's briefing. So all listening to what they need to do. But we've got some great liveries out there tonight. We'll have a real good search through those during qualifying, which will be up next. So you see there's about 4 minutes of this practice session left. The briefing normally ends with just a couple of moments of the practice session left. So some of the guys might get back out again. But majority of the action that we'll see next will be in qualifying. Yeah, that Wi-Fi is not playing ball tonight. Bloody technology, eh? Even plugged the adapter in a different place and all kinds of stuff, but there you go. Part of the technical issues really are from the fact that I'm not broadcasting in the shed as normal. I'm in the house. Good thing and bad thing. I'm much, much closer to food and drink, and that's both a good thing and a bad thing. Anyway. We have, in the server tonight, 30 drivers. Some of whom you will have seen in other series before, and you might have seen on our streams before. Many of whom will be brand new to you and brand new to me as well. So looking forward to looking at all of these guys and how they get on tonight. But 30 drivers in a rookie series across 3 classes. Is a really great return on something that is absolutely brand spanking new. So, Tom, I see you're in the chat this evening. What's going on in your world? Everything good, sir? Johnny Shaw waffles in these driver briefings. He does. You're right. Although, not as long as Willie does. Right. The Willie ones where he says, oh, this will be a 2-second briefing, and then 40 minutes later you're still listening to Irish. There. Mr. Morell, good evening. Yes, let's go indeed. Great to have you as part of this league, and a timely reminder from our friend Nightbot there. Live timing is available for most of our ACC streamed events, but especially for tonight. So if you want to follow live timing, hit up pitwall.live/timing/oNiD, and you can see all of the positions, the gaps, all of that kind of stuff live on your screen. But make sure you've got one screen dedicated to this stream, because we are going to follow the best of the action as closely as possible. Yeah, I can imagine it is busy times for you, Tom, and we are a couple of weeks away now from starting to see some of the 2022 Formula One cars, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, I can imagine it is super crazy busy for you guys right now. For anyone who is brand new to watching anything to do with oNiD as well, then great to have you along. Why not come and join us for yourself? We just hit a mini milestone today. We hit 900 members on Discord, which means that we are rapidly heading towards that big 1,000, which, considering we've been going for almost exactly a year, is some pretty crazy numbers. So we are absolutely thrilled to be hitting the numbers that we are now, but why not come make it more? Why not come and join one of the fastest growing sim racing communities out there? We're UK based. We do streaming as well. We do ACC stuff. We do Assetto Corsa as well on a Monday night. Mr. Tom there puts on some epic AMS2 events as well. As he drops in, any IMSA fans? There is a AMS2 IMSA event at Daytona this weekend. I'm so gutted that I can't drive that one. I would absolutely love to be driving that. We do stuff in Project Cars 2 sometimes. I get the feeling that there might be some RF2 stuff coming in the future now that the UI update has happened. There's some iRacing stuff nibbling around in the background as well. Plus we've got our amazing Xbox guys as well who run some brilliant stuff over there. So loads and loads of opportunity to get involved. Come and join us on our Discord, and you can be part of that action as well. I'm guessing driver's briefing is open, so so Johnny might be back with us.
I am. Hello.
Hello. How did it go?
Yeah, good. Lots of questions, which is good. That's what we want. We want guys to be asking questions, and so yeah, they're all ready and raring to go. We've built up to the championship for a few months now, so let's let them go and see what they can do.
Absolutely. And Matt P UK 83 joined the Discord today. You legend. In fact, you never know, he might have been member 900. It's distinctly possible if he joined today, because that happened today. So yeah, welcome Matt, thanks for joining us. You joined the right place, is all I can say. And tonight we are watching our rookies out on track. So Johnny, as the man behind this, we've already talked about the fact that we've got 3 different classes out there, with the pros, the silvers and the AMs. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying. We've got 2 30-minute races tonight. What realistically are you expecting to see from these rookie drivers tonight?
What I'm expecting to see, or what I want to see? Because they're slightly two different questions.
What you would expect to see were everything to your expectations? No, that doesn't really help. What you're hoping to see, I suppose.
See the nice, 2 clean races. Look, there's going to be incidents. It's motor car racing, whether it be, it's not real life. It's on a sim. It's on the sim. But
yes, Mr. Massey, we're going car racing. I get it. Yep.
You're going to have incident. We have incidents in the GT3s and our GT4s. There's going to be incident. But what I would love to see is a relatively clean turn 1. I haven't given it them easy, because Paddock Hill Bend as their first full turn 1 together is going to be challenging. But if they can get through turn 1, I just want some close battles. I want some clean overtaking. I just want them to enjoy themselves more than anything else.
Absolutely. But you are a sadist, aren't you?
Absolutely. I could have been worse.
You could have been. You could have done Monza, right?
Bathurst.
Yeah. You made me choke on my water. How do you choke on water? How does that happen? I'm literally falling apart this week. Never mind. Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it is a tricky track, but it's also a great one to start with because it's fast. And if they can master this one, they can master most places, right?
Absolutely, it's got a mixture of everything. It's got the fast sweeping corners. It's got some the slow hairpin. It's got a tight Graham Hill bend at the turn 3 is quite tight. It's got a bit of everything, and I think it's a good one to get them all. And because it's so close together, they're going to have to learn to be in proximity of each other in a relatively tight track. So that will teach them more than they realise, I think.
Yeah.
So, and they've got some better tracks to come. They've got some easier tracks to come, but Brands is a personal favourite of mine, and it was one of the ones I learnt very early on. So it was a good place to start for these guys, I think.
Absolutely. Well, qualifying has started, and Mr. Sharon heads it up straight away with a 1:24.7. It's about 8/10 off of what he managed in practice. So there's definitely some more pace out there. If you were one of these guys, would you just be fueling up for the whole session and just lap, or would you be diving in for some new boots?
I'd be... well, me personally, I just kind of... I'll go out there and just pump as many laps as I can. They're only going to get 4 or 5 laps, flying laps in. The sensible thing would probably go and do a couple of laps, get a banker on, push for your second lap, try and get as much as you can out of it, and then return to the pits and go and put some new boots on.
That's what I tend to do. It doesn't make me any quicker, but it's what I tend to do. I don't know why, just you sometimes get a little bit of extra confidence of having some fresh boots on, even if it makes absolutely diddly squat difference. As Van Oosenen goes fastest now, with 24.6, and Rivera goes second. Look how close that is. Top 5 separated by less than 1/10 of a second right now. How is it we can pick a field of rookies and still end up with it as close as that? And first of all, Legend, thank you for your subscription. Much appreciated and welcome along. How do we end up getting them that close? It's bonkers.
Yeah, it is incredible. And like I said earlier in the introduction, these guys are quick, and then I was having a quick practice the other day. I was knocking the Bentley around, and I was getting kind of like mid 24s. So I'm kind of they're as quick as what would probably be classed as a silver in our GT3 championships. Some of them could even push. We know Victor Bukov's in our pro category for the GT3 World Series.
Yep.
And I think there is probably a couple more definitely from this series that will jump straight into pro because they're naturally quick and they've got it set up. But to get it that tight at the top is incredible. And then I think the times will drop as well. I think the guys are just putting bankers in. But I think the top 5 in that pro class will be very, very, very close. And it as much as I don't like to admit it, Willie Blackhammer's spreadsheet of doom works perfectly.
Yeah, Sablinskas maybe just upsetting the apple cart right now, as is Dan Hyde. Dan Hyde won one of the evaluations, but does seem to be just struggling a little bit tonight.
Yeah, it's odd as well. I've always found the Bentley to be okay around here. I've had some good results. I think if he stays clean during the race and he stays consistent during the race, I think he'll work his way forwards. Definitely, it's he's a bit like me in the way, and Ben's the same, that we struggle with qualifying. We always seem to go quicker in the race than we do in qualifying, but I expect he'll definitely be top 10.
Well, this man, Loris Tata, is currently 3/10 up on this lap. We'll go pick up Victor Bukov in a minute as well, because he is up as well. But I think Tata, he jumps into the top 10 now. So let's just pick up Victor. Looks like the infield straight. He's just heading down the hill to let's call it the Johnny Herbert Bridge, shall we? and around the two ridiculously fast and tricky corners at the top of the circuit. Rivera is your current pole man with 6.5 minutes left, 1:24.362. Holman is second, less than 2/10 off, and then Van Oosenen is third. You've then got Sharon, Bukov, Sharon again, that's not going to get confusing at all. Sablinskas is 7th and currently pole in silver. Pole in AM is Shoutin in 16th overall. That's a great job, outperforming some of the silvers there. Good lap.
That's a fantastic lap, considering that he wanted to be in the McLaren for the series, and due to an error it's put him in the BMW. So
he may be quite pleased with that, as
be very pleased with that.
As Viktor Bukov now moves to the top, 1:24.1 now. So we are starting to edge towards that 23. It was one of the Charons that did the 23.9. Look at the two Charons there. They are separated by 28 thousandths of a second. Same car, same first initial, same surname. A streamer's nightmare unfolding itself. Let's see who is on a good lap right now. Absolutely no one. It's a field of red right now on my screen. No, we've got a little bit of green from Pablo Garrido, but he's only done one corner, so that's a lovely livery. That's a real tidy one. I like that. That's an unfortunate server hang there, so I hope nobody was too badly affected by that. But that is a beautiful livery that I'm looking at. Car 42, Pablo Garrido. He is 2/10 up on this lap. But let's just pop back up towards the point, because Matt Holman is a 10th up in that RT Smokehouse Bentley. I mean, this is the one that has got everything going for it as far as you're concerned. It's sponsored by a smokehouse, which is sounding quite
meat.
American. It's meat. It's got a very American livery, and it's a Bentley. I mean, Johnny, have you proposed to Matt yet?
No, I haven't, but his livery is my wet dream right there.
And moving on swiftly, because Matt is about to cross the line. He's 2/10 up, so this is going to put him nice and close. Yay, jumps into second. So it's Merck from Bentley, from McLaren, from Bentley, McLaren, Merck, BMW. That's surprising. The first BMW is down in 8th place. So maybe the nerf did hit it hard after all. Let's see who is on a good lap. Matthias Heidenreich with what, in my opinion, is the livery of the season. It's done already. It's round one, and this is it. That's the one. I don't care where he's got it from, who's done it. It's spectacular. Just Toyota WRC 1990s. It's all there. That is just an absolute beaut.
Also reminds me of Edwards' World Superbike motorbike. He was sponsored by Castrol Honda as well. Exactly the same colours.
Yeah, absolutely. I could just stare at that all day, but I won't, because there's plenty of other action on track, and Heidenreich is not improving right now. Uval Sharon is 3/10 up on this lap, so that would move him much closer to the top. See if he can gain a little bit through clearways as well. That's a tidy little livery, that one as well. We've got some lovely ones. He runs very wide onto the grass. Doesn't seem to cost him, it does cost him a 10th. So he only improves by a couple of tenths in the end, but it gets him that nudge closer. That's Bukov, Holman, Rivera, Sharon, Van Oosenen, Sharon again, Sablinskas, Shoveler, Heidenreich, Detata, Worrell, Davies, Prescott, Hyde, Jackman, Garrido, Shoutin, Ingheden, Finney, Samoas, Bond, Zabi, Burgett, Bond, Kuipers, Van der Veen, O'Brien, Lamberts, Morel, and Evans. field full of John Smiths would be appreciated. I apologise massively if I've absolutely slaughtered anyone's names there. If I have, drop me a PM during the week and give me an explanation of how to say it, and I'll try my best. We've just watched Felix Ingheden, whose name I'm sure I'm massacring there, go 7th with a really good lap. So he now becomes the fastest BMW, and also, more importantly, takes pole in silver away from Sublinskas, another name I am absolutely destroying.
Just having a look at our resident SGP hero, Steve Worrell. He's got a nice SGP livery car there with race department on it.
You'd be pretty disappointed if it wasn't an SGP race department livery, right?
I quite like it though. It's very smart.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I have to admit, ever since Race Department changed their logo, it is really nice. And that whole thing works really well. He's got a lovely pattern in the background on the black areas of the livery. Currently sat 12th, but that is 3rd in class, so good job from Steve. Ricardo Rivera is a 10th up, coming through clearways. So how close is this going to get him?
Wow. Very close is your answer.
He's got time for one more lap if he's got it in him, but yeah, 87 thousandths off of Bukov's time. Checkered flag is out, so everyone is now on their final lap. Yotam Sharon is a 10th up at the moment, but let's see who else is improving. Absolutely nobody. Actually, yes, the two Sharons are improving. Uval was 2 tenths up as well. Rivera going for another lap. Seeing what he can do. Bradley Burgett is 3 tenths up. Make that 4 tenths as well. So he's trying to push that BMW on a bit.
Oh dear. Oh,
what have I just missed?
Sharon was absolutely, you could see he was absolutely on the limit and just got sideways. Coming to the right-hander at the back of the course and slid it into a wall, but it looked impressive.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just watched Mr. Burgett do exactly the same thing. But it's good to see these guys are pushing on the edge of the limit. I'm looking at Felix Ingeden now, who is 2 tenths up. Coming down towards clearways, bit of traffic. Hope it all stays out the way for him. So far, so good. So let's see whether he can improve across the line on his 7th place. Oh, no, he stays 7th. Right. Johnny, you're going to have to fill for 2 seconds. I'm going to go and reset my Wi-Fi adapter so I can follow the chat. But in the meantime, I should put the chat up on screen for everyone.
Well, this will be the time then they're using to adjust any tyre pressures, any last-minute adjustments to the car. And we've got a full formation lap for these guys to go around to give them a chance to get their tyres warm. And before we go racing, so these guys, as you can see, some of them will have the car up on jacks. They'll be doing a few bits and bobs to get their car finally sorted. So while Adam is hobbling around, as you can probably hear him bashing and banging.
Peg legs back, yeah.
So I was just saying this will be the time where they'll be adjusting tyre pressures to what they need, putting the fuel in the car, and getting themselves ready to go racing. Who's your money on?
Oh, don't do that to me. I'm going to say, with no expert knowledge in this whatsoever, race 1, Matt Holman.
Yeah, I was going to pick Matt Holman.
I just think that Bentley is going to be really nice and stable for this 30-minute race. He's got good pace as well. We're quite used to car 46 winning in our leagues as well, so yeah.
Yeah, we don't mention that one though.
No.
10 seconds.
No.
You watch the amount of abuse that's about to come on that stream chat.
Oh, we're also used to 46 dive bombing, right?
I didn't say that.
No, I
wasn't
did.
Me.
I said it. And I'll say it again. I'll say it to his face.
I bet you wouldn't.
He hasn't seen how big I am, so.
My pick for the whole race, though, I think Greg might win silver. So that's going to be my pick. My pick's Greg. I think he's pretty solid.
Are we saying shouting to win Am?
Well, you don't know. You never know. Paddock Hill has took many a victim over the years.
That is very true. And do you know what? He finds himself right in the middle of the pack as well, which is a horrible place to be.
Yeah, not the greatest place to be. But I'm going to go on board with Greg, I think, for the first start of the race. See whereabouts he is.
I'd just also like to say massive congratulations to Jacques Morel for a beautiful livery as well. Like a retro Apple computer livery. That is stunning. That looks absolutely fantastic. I love to see some of these liveries that we've got in here. Sorry for the big hiccup as well. That was excellent.
And it's good to see Tom giving us all advice. The best advice you could have, not just in racing but in life. If in doubt, back out.
Yeah, racing, potential fights, other things.
And Jimbo says one of you can't go about your daily tasks without breaking something, and the other can't do a warm-up lap without bidding it. So say what you want.
Fair one. There's not much to come back to on that. Although I have now gone a whole week without breaking a bone.
That's good. Did you do like 30 years before that?
37.
Yeah. You old git.
Yeah, thanks for that. Anyway, I love to see how many guys we've got watching tonight. You are about to see some great action, we hope. We're going to switch to Helicam view, which is always a great way to watch the start. You can see the pack lining up. You've got Bukov and Rivera at the front. Two fantastic drivers are going to lead us away. So as they come onto the start-finish straight, we will be waiting for the man to say green light, and then we will be going racing in the oNiD Rookies series. Johnny, here we go. We're about to go racing.
Green light.
Go, go, go!
There we go, and that's a great start from one of the Charons there, but if in doubt, back out, and he did indeed. But Matt Holman does get himself up to second, but Bukov has had a splendid start. What's going on further back, Johnny?
They did it! They did Paddock Hill Bend without an accident!
Yes, Rookies for the win. Absolutely. Now Rivera's dropped a few spots and got a bit of a shove out of the way from one of the McLarens there. He's now got another Bentley up the inside of him.
Adam, can we go full screen, please?
We can indeed. My apologies. There we go. I haven't got enough screens on the go tonight to keep a track of everything, but side by side there at the end of the infield straight. Let's go back up to the front. Bukov, a absolutely lightning first lap, has got himself well away at the start of this one. He's almost a second clear of Matt Holman. That Sharon Uval is third. Ricardo Rivera fourth for Puerto Rico. And that's one of the other things we'll talk about tonight as well, is just how many different nationalities are represented in this league as well. Great to see. As things settle down, we'll pick up on some of the battles through the field, of course. Let's check in on Dan Hyde. There he is in 11th place. Johnny, who are you watching and how's it going?
I'm currently watching the Greg fan club. He's battling with Cassie Jackman and Matthias Heidenreich. So he's doing well. He's up to 15th, so he's currently 5th in class. There's a good little train going on here from kind of 7th to 15th. There's quite a bit of a train going on, so I expect to see some action in there.
There is indeed. One of the things that's really great to see with these guys being rookies is the variety of different lines that they're taking into corners. It means that actually we're getting some really good battles on track. What you're seeing right here now is Ryan Davies defending from Matthias Heidenreich. In fact, Heidenreich now switches to the inside and gets the job done. That's a tricky place to make a move, but he's done it. It must have been the livery that made it possible. But that Red Bull Aston Martin getting and they have made contact. And Greg's caught up in it as well. So that was two cars at different paces trying to get through the same part of the track. And let's hope these guys can recover it neatly and get going again. Johnny, I think you saw that one live as well. It was just two cars at different paces, I think.
Yeah, in that corner, everyone brakes slightly differently depending on your car. It's a very blind corner. Just at the top of the back end, it caused a little bit of chaos behind as well because it's a blind corner. You come round the corner and you just if there's an accident there, it's just there. There's nothing them guys could do. Just a bit of a collection, but it has closed that pack up a little bit. There's probably for what now 16th to 24th, all in a line, battling side by side.
Can we just say that when it comes down to the incident panel reviewing that, the fault of that one actually lies entirely with Derek Stack.
Absolutely.
None of the drivers.
Agree.
Because literally he said, have to say, very impressed with how clean this start is, and then bang, crash. Whoops, spoke too soon, cursed it. Yes, you did indeed. So, licence points for D-Stack, please. We should actually make that a thing.
Qualifying ban for GT3 World Series.
Yes. Or a full series ban like me. We'll do it by coming around and breaking your foot for you. So everything's settling down at the front, and Bukov has sprinted away, but then it's kind of plateaued. The gap has stayed at pretty much 9/10 to a second ever since. So he's not running away with this one, and Matt Holman is keeping him honest in that Pennzoil Bentley. And then
with the Bentley as well, is especially going into turn 2 that it can brake so late. Mm-hmm. He'll gain no end of time going into there. But Bukov, that grunt of that AMG will just disappear down this straight. Even though the Bentley's not bad, he's got great grunt as well. Just Bukov seems to have it hooked up again.
Yeah, he does indeed. He's pulled a 10th down that straight. Or if we're looking at a very American-looking car, that straightaway. Because they
love it.
Have to add extra words to things. You've got two BMWs side by side at the top of the hill. And that looks to me like Fraz Shoveler has just got past Felix. He has indeed. So Shoveler makes it up a spot in that very brightly coloured Pulse Sim Sport BMW. And now Felix under some pressure from Larice de Tata.
Again, Felix is silver, so if them pros are quicker than him, I would expect he'll be letting them go. He doesn't need to be battling them. He's currently leading in silver class, quite some way ahead. 2 or 3 seconds ahead of the guy in second. So a little bit of sense could be shown here, and he could just let the pros through and let them carry on their battle. Absolutely, because he's got a big gap back to Steve Worrell, who is third. Sorry, where did I get third from? He's 11th, but second in class. So it wasn't even the class. I don't know where I got third from. So you got that all wrong.
Too many pills. Yeah, he's there anyway. Dan Hyde making some progress. He's up to 10th. So sticking with the back of the pro class now. So again, quite a few of you probably new to our streams. So just to explain for you, we've got 3 classes out there: Pro, Silver, and Am. Did I just see a car going round? Might have done. But Pro, Silver, and Am. The ones in Pro, they've got their car numbers in white on the timing tower. The ones in Silver, well, theirs are in Silver. And the ones in Am are in red. And then you can see the split times alongside that. And also, Johnny, oNiD Royalty has joined the chat because Mr. Extreme Beef is here.
Ah, the king of the Xbox himself. Welcome, Beefy. Good to see you, buddy.
We do seem to have lost Bradley Burgett. He is in the pits, so hopefully that's just to be getting some repairs.
Yeah, he got collected. He got collected by that crash at the top of the hill. Ended up in a wall, so hopefully he'll just be getting that DSRT car fixed and back out.
Heike van der Veen is somebody who's doing a lot of racing with us just lately. Good to see him in this rookie series as well, improving every time he goes out on track. Currently running 22nd, which I think is actually second in Am, so really good showing from Heike so far tonight. Johnny, just tell us a little bit about the involvement of the coaches during the race. Are they talking to the drivers during the race, giving them any advice, or is it purely in between sessions and they're letting them get on with it now?
Literally, they have an hour. The coaches are involved in the hour before. In the races, they go into a separate voice chat, so then guys can watch the race, pick up anything that needs to be said. They make a few notes, do whatever they need to do. They'll watch the races quite closely, and then once the two races are finished, all the drivers are invited back to a debrief in our Discord, where the coaches will just go a few things they've seen, a few things that the group can improve on. Not necessarily individuals, it'll be about the group, like a group debrief, and then they'll message people who need to be messaged, they'll talk to people, and the drivers are feel free to drop the messages to the coaches at any time, day or night, and we'll do their best to help them as best they can. It's interesting though, just coming off topic slightly, Janice Shelton, who was clearly leading Am, is being lapped at a rate of knots, and he's currently last. So I don't know what's happened to him, and that's a shame.
Yeah, we'll go pick that one up in a bit. I don't know whether he picked up some damage early on. Adrian Bond takes the pits, as does Jacques Morel. So I think we've got a couple more with damage out there, because there's no mandatory stop in this race. What we're currently doing right now, for those of you watching the main feed, is you are watching On Board with Ricardo Rivera, as he is getting nice and close to the back of one of the Chirons, the third placed number 34 car. It's a battle of the McLarens. A moment ago they were nose to tail, but Chiron has just pulled away ever so slightly right now. I have no idea what's going on in the chat, but I've just seen mention of Bovril. What's going on?
Jimbo says, Dave and myself are stood on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend enjoying a donut and a piss water coffee.
Sounds good to me.
And then Ben put, not Bovril, and he said, no, he's saving the Bovril for football.
That explains the mention of Bovril then. Thank you for that.
Just for the guys who don't know, Jimbo Mancy is one of our coaches, and Dave Selecki as well is another one of our coaches. They're the guys that are on shift tonight, keeping an eye on these guys.
And for those of you that don't know, Bovril is a meat-flavoured gravy-type drink.
Trust the Northerner to say something. Say Bovril and Tom turns up. It's like if you shout something American loud enough, D-Stack turns up. You do it with Whippets and Bovril and Tom turns up.
Well, I'll summon the stack in just a moment. But first of all, thank you OMC Sim Racing for your raid, bringing a few of you along to the stream. Great to have you along, and hopefully you can see some excellent racing going on in front of us. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Tom's been temporarily halted by the Nightbot. There we go. And Gucci Andra, thanks for the follow. If you're not following us already, then feel free to do so. This will be on every what day of the week is it? Thursday. Every Thursday for the next 6 weeks. We did ring D-Stack, but I was about to do it by going Watkins Glen. That's normally the way that we ring the stack. So anarchist says, come on, number 23. So Who is number 23? Let's see.
Nice, Ben. Ben is gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Look at that.
Check that man out. There we go. It's number 23 is Cassie Jackman. There we go. You ask and you shall see. If you want to follow any particular driver for a little bit and see how they're getting on, then just give us a shout who you want to take a look at and we'll jump to it. But we will also jump around to any action, and I think Dan Hyde has just got himself past Felix. Again, like you say, Felix in a different class, so might have just let him go. But what it does mean is that Felix is now under some pressure from Steve Worrell. Oh no, that's a lapped car. As we just catch Steve Worrell off the track, he's picked up some horrible looking damage on that Porsche and has just been passed, I think, by Cassie Jackman. Yes, he has. So Steve Worrell drops a position, so that's Cassie up to second in class. Johnny, what are you looking at right now? Anything for
I was just currently watching Wayne Bond with Pablo Garrido. He's less than half a second just coming up to Clearways, I think. Are they just come to Clearways now?
How many E's were in your spelling of Clearways then?
About the same as it was in that
Very good. Yeah, they are nose to tail. We've got it live on stream right now. But some sensible defending from Pablo Garrido there. Stuck his car right down the middle. I assume the coaches will not just be looking at pace and things like that, but they'll also be helping these drivers on overtaking and defending and everything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be looking at the guys and how well they pass and how well they defend, giving them pointers. Like I said, it's not just about how quick you can go around track, it's about how safely you can go around track and how well you can make them moves, because as much as consistency breeds results, you do have to do the occasional overtake as well. So they'll be looking and they'll be offering advice. So yeah, they'll be looking at all kinds of things. But defending there from Garrido was fantastic, especially on Paddock Hill. It's so easy to drift out there, so keeping it tight to the inside and making sure no car could pass, that was really sensible stuff. Absolutely.
Now, I don't know if you've seen this, Johnny, but our lead gap is down to less than a quarter of a second. We are 0.2. They are almost nose to tail now. It's difficult to know where to go for the action because it's a similar gap between third and fourth yet again, between Chiron and Rivera. Holman got it slightly wrong coming out of Graham Hill there, so it's just dropped back a little bit. So let's go check out. Oh, in fact, Rivera has got past one of the Chirons. So Rivera up to third now. That one's been on the cards for a little while. So yeah, there we go. Now, a request as we hit halfway, a request to see car 543. That's Joop Kuipers in the Kuipers car. He is currently 18th overall, but leading Am. Gucciandra, he is going well. He's leading his class. That's the best that he could be hoping for right now. And if he lets car 444 go past easily, that's no problem because they're in different classes and he'll just be wanting to get through nice and safely. So there we go. Let's go check back at the front though, because it's back down to 0.2, which tells me that Matt Holman has the pace of Bukov right now.
You can have a look at, oh, come on. Oh, I thought he was going to have a look. Could be brave on them brakes in the Bentley, but see how I mean, he can get on the power so early in the Bentley. It doesn't want to drift. Like I went around in the AMG earlier on this week, and coming out of turn 2, you just want to drift out as you get on the power. The Bentley is very planted through there, so he'll be gaining lots of time through them first few corners. That's for sure.
Tom wants to know if this is going to be a repeat of.
Oh yeah. For the viewers that don't know, so me and Tom were raced in another community's rookie league about 9 months ago, I would say.
Oh, if not more, you know. That was,
yeah, it's probably more than that. It's probably 12 months ago. And we were racing around Brands in the GT4s, and I managed to get past Tom. I think I qualified. I don't know if I qualified on pole, but Tom managed to pass me on the opening lap, and then I managed to get Tom back towards the start of lap 2. and I was in the Ginetta and Tom was in the McLaren GT4, and pretty much for 30 minutes I could not shake him. He was on my tail for 30 minutes, and it was the hardest race I've ever had to do. I managed to win it, much to the dislike of the guy commentating.
Much to the dislike of pretty much everyone, I think, apart from you.
But it was a fantastic race, and it's exactly what we hope for in our leagues as well, is that kind of racing. Tom kept me on my toes and kept me honest for 30 minutes.
Absolutely. Really. Talking of fantastic racing, by the way, we've just picked up Wayne Bond and Matthias Heidenreich going at it hammer and tong, and now they are catching Pablo Garrido at the rate of knots as well. So I wonder if Pablo's just had himself a bit of a moment, because he has dropped back, and these two are catching him. Let's just jump back up to the front, because they've just put a lap on, I can't remember who that is. I think that is Jacques Morel. Yeah, it is. But the two leaders, so number one, that means that they've got past Jacques nice and cleanly, so good job everyone there, because that is another learning point, is the lapping and the blue flag stuff going down. But Matt Holman all over the back of Victor Bukov. Can Victor sustain this, as we see Jacques Morel going off in the background, unfortunately. Holman giving it the weave now. Let's jump on board with Matt. This is my favourite thing about the Bentley. The steering wheel is on the right side of the car. And when I say right, I don't just mean right, I mean correct. Yes, this is a British stream, as you may have guessed. That RT Smokehouse car getting nice and close to the back of Bukov. So far, not being able to find a way through. Just looking, Ryan Davies, I think, has just made up a spot. Has he just got past Sablinskas? Yes, he has. So he gets past. My timing screen's getting itself all confused at the moment. But we'll keep following this. We've got lots of different nationalities in tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. We were looking down the list earlier on in the week, and we have got quite a few people from all over the place. From Serbia, Portugal,
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah, Lithuania, Holland, America, Spain, Germany,
Puerto
Rico, Scotland. That's fair. That's too far away for me.
Yeah, that's the most geographically challenging of all of them. Haiti. There was a Haitian driver.
Bangladesh.
Wow. I mean, this is probably the most international field that we've ever had at oNiD as well, which is really good. Really good to see.
Couple of South African guys, I think, knocking around somewhere. Did I see?
Yes, definitely. And there are some Brits in there as well.
There is some Brits, yes, you are very correct.
Not as many as normal. Thank you for the follow, James Hook 66. Welcome along. Great to have you with us. We've got 9.5 minutes left of this race. It's been pretty good so far. Pretty solid standard, you'd have to say. And the two Chirons right together now, trying to push each other along to get back on terms with Ricardo Rivera. That's our Puerto Rican driver. Well, I assume it is anyway, because he's driving for Puerto Rico E-Racing Club. Be a pretty mad coincidence if he wasn't the Puerto Rican driver. But the two Chirons right behind him, so McLaren's 3rd, 4th and 5th. And good evening, Princess JT. It's going well, thank you. As we lose one of the Chirons, I think. Yes, we do. Spin, and hold your brakes now. You're off the track. Good job. Let's see. Solid rejoin. It's a tricky place to rejoin. And I would say that was pretty nicely done. Squeezed in just ahead of one of his teammates there. It
was very well done, considering he had a back marker to deal with as well, who was slowing down to let the quicker guys go. So it would have held him up an extra second, but no, good rejoin just in front of Loris de Tata, I believe, which is, like you said, is his teammate.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, but... sorry, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, that That was a sneeze, laugh, a snarf. There is a little contact there. Is that a back marker? I think it must have been.
Yeah. I think that Sean O'Brien is trying his best to come out of the way. Looks like he's got a bit of damage.
Yeah, does indeed. So Sean on his way back to the pits. What I was about to say was a big apology to James Hook. James Hook has literally just subscribed to us. Then sends us a nice message full of emojis. And what does Nightbot do? Nightbot says no. Deletes his message. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, James. Yeah, Nightbot is he's a little bit savage, but well,
Steve Wells.
Anyway.
Steve Worrell's just got past Cassie Chapman for second place in that silver class now.
Absolutely. As Felix Ingerden is a little way up the road. The gap at the front has just extended itself back out, so I don't know whether... oh, no. Holman's got a lot closer, just as I say that. So, Matt, you have got 7 minutes to make my race 1 prediction come true. Johnny, grid for race 2 is formed from the original qualifying, right? There's no second qualifying
indeed.
or anything, so
nope.
Same grid as we had for this one.
There's just a nice little break if people want to go and get a drink or quickly run to the loo before we start race 2.
I shan't be running to the loo.
No, but I shall be running off for a quick break.
You should be off for a smoke, and I will man the operation here because as we see Shoveler just running wide, I think just trying to get past Jacques Morel. As a back marker, and what that means is that one of the Chirons has squeezed through. So I think just some of the blue flag action just coming to the Chiron's aid there. You'll have to forgive me, this is week 1. We will work out which Chiron is which. I know you've got slightly different colourings on your cars, and we will get our heads around that. But right now, I'm not even sure I could spell BMW tonight, so... you'll have to bear with us, but we will get there, and we won't always be saying one of the Chirons, I promise you. Gap down to 2/10 again at the front. Look at this one as they come through Paddock Hill up towards Druids. Is Holman at some point going to get to the point where he has to make a move, or is he going to be prepared to settle for second? If you were Holman, how would you be feeling?
I'd be going for it. I'd be hoping to get a good run out of Paddock Hill Bend and maybe try and stick my nose at the inside of Druids and keep it as tight to the curve as possible and try and get past that way.
Although let's face it, if you were Matt Holman right now, then we would all be putting our money on Rivera winning the race.
Oh dear.
Fair?
I don't know why I asked you lot to come and help. I really don't.
Side-by-side action across the line there, separated by 13 thousandths across the line. Contact into turn 1 between Wayne Bond and Augustus Sablinskas. That was for position. Bond gets it done in the end, but we've now got 5 cars all together. The green Porsche on the outside, I think, is a lapped car that had just been through the kitty litter at turn 1. But that is Matthias Heidenreich now getting up the inside of Pablo Garrido. So he's making up some positions as a result of all of this. Making his way up through the order in that gorgeous Lexus. But the big loser in all of that was Sablinskas. He has dropped down to 17th now. He was side by side with Bond into T1 and came off the worst for it. Bond continues on in 14th. Gap out front extends back out to 7/10, so nothing to see there. But there is between Shoveler and De Tata. Those two nice and close as they come out of T1. What are you watching, and what's going on track right now?
I'm just watching the leaders at the minute. Matt seems to have dropped off a little bit from Victor. I don't know whether he's just had a break for a lap and a half or so and just kind of getting ready for that final push, but that gap is out to 8/10. Although Mr. Bukov's just gone a little bit tight and a little bit sideways going through one of a couple of the corners, so maybe he's struggling a little bit with his tyres and maybe Matt will benefit, but this battle's really heating up, and I think if Matt has one final push, we could be in for a grandstand finish.
We've got a ding-dong of a battle going on for 19th of all positions, you know. Zach Finney, Gabriel Samoas and Greg Prescott all together, although Greg just ran a touch wide and is now much more under pressure from Heike van der Veen. Van der Veen to the inside at Druids, doesn't quite get it done. Greg holds the position into Graham Hill, but then runs wide on the exit of Graham Hill. Heike switches to the inside into Sterling's, I think it is, next corner. But Heike being very, very cautious, not wanting to make any contact with Greg. Good driving from all of them. But it does mean that Joop Kuipers is now right on him. Joop gets onto the grass, trying to find a way past. Get out of the way, Bridge. I hate that camera angle. And there is contact now with Arnav Zabi. And Kuipers manages to hold it, and Zabi does just hold off there and not drive through. Sean O'Brien is not the next car that I thought it was on the track. Must have been one of the leaders coming through. Yes, it's Ingeden. So, gap at the front at 5 tenths now. So, maybe Matt just winding himself up to a last dash towards Bukov.
They're basically going to have a 2-lap shootout as they cross the line.
Indeed they are. There is battles up and down the field. Shoveler, De Tata and Ingeden all pretty close together. Dan Hyde is... now, you said Dan Hyde would finish in top 10, and that's exactly where he is. 10th right now. A very smart looking oNiD liveried Bentley right now. Some nice Sim Stuff logos on there as well, I like that. But then again, I would, right? Wayne Bond under some serious pressure from Matthias Heidenreich. Matthias just running a touch deep. Pick up on Samoas and Zach Finney. That one has switched around, so Samoas has got ahead of Zach Finney now, up into 19th. Zach has dropped back a bit as a result. And Heike has dropped off the back of Greg Prescott now as well. I think it's just settling down into the last knock-ins of this race. But don't go anywhere when this one finishes. There's a short gap, and then we'll be straight into race 2, which is another 30-minute sprint. Same track, same starting grid. What's the ooh?
Oh, Bukov coming out of the second to last corner, getting on the green stuff and having a little wobble of the rear end of that AMG. It's allowed Matt to get a little bit closer, but it is literally 1 lap to go. Don't know if Matt's going to be close enough. He's quite close going through Paddock Hill. He's not going to have enough to look into Druids, I don't think. He is very, very on the... He's right on the rear of Bukov now. This might be the one push he was saving himself for, trying to save them tyres.
And they are catching back markers as well. As Bukov runs very wide on the exit of Graham Hill, but gets away with it. But where does this back marker come into things as well? A little bit sideways in the Bentley, I think, up through Sterling's. If anything, it might help Victor right now. Getting a toe down the straight, moves out of the way very nicely.
Oh, not easy for Matt though. Oh,
not
well
easy,
held, Matt.
but very well done from both of those drivers. Do you know what? You wouldn't believe that this was a rookie race. Watching it, I keep going to say Wookiee race. I don't know why I get all
far more. That'd be just as entertaining. That would.
A Wookiee race, yeah.
A Wookiee race.
We've got a yellow flag as a green Porsche off into the gravel. We're going to stick with this one across the line. Literally 1 corner left. So as long as Victor Bukov does not ditch it through clearways, then Victor will take the win, and I think that is what's going to happen. Great drive from Victor. He takes the win from Matt Holman. Ricardo Rivera, that's not a race to the line, that is a back marker there, but Ricardo Rivera finishes 3rd. Great job. Jotam Sharon is 4th. Wilbert van Oosenen is 5th. Uval Sharon is 6th, but we do have a race to the line between Fraz Shoveler and Laurice de Tata. has that McLaren got the legs? It's close, but not close enough. It was close as coconuts, you know. That's a long time since I've said that.
Well done, Felix, winning silver class. Felix Ingeden, he's done well there. It's a good race for him.
That is a great job. Dan Hyde coming across the line in 10th. Steve Orell, 2nd in silver. A decent drive, considering there's quite a bit of damage to that Porsche, so good job. Casey Jackman, 12th overall, which is 3rd in class. Ryan Davies takes 4th in class and 13th overall. And Wayne Bond takes the next spot in silver.
One corner to go then for a driver that's been with us a little while. I believe he's got COVID as well at the minute, but Bo Lamberts winning AM Class Race 1. Well done, buddy. That's a really good drive.
Great job, Bo. We catch him across the line there. That's 18th overall as well, which is a really solid overall finish. Gabby Samoa's coming across the line in 19th.
Right, break time. I will be back.
Yep, Johnny's off to fill his lungs with some smoke. I'm not going anywhere though. I am staying right here. So fear thee not. So, what did you guys think of race 1 then? That was not too bad, was it? For a race 1 of the season. Yeah, you can see in the chat there. So, yeah. Holman clearly was running his tyres a little bit better than Victor Bukov, but it looks like those guys have had a really enjoyable race. So well done for that, and yeah, well done to our winners then: Victor Bukov, Felix Ingeden, and Bo Lamberts. That is a great job. And do you know what? Heike van der Veen, 2nd in AM. You're absolutely right. That is a fantastic job for you as well. So this is the oNiD Racing Rookie Championship live on Twitch. My name's oNiD Adam D. We also have Mr. Johnny Ashley in comms as well when he's back from his smoke. Great to see so many of you along with us for this stream tonight as well. It's probably a good time just to remind you of our channel partners. SimRace 24/7 is the place to go to get yourself the latest sim racing news. They review equipment, they review mods for games, they review games themselves, they bring you all of the sim racing news from around the world. And they've got great Discord as well. So simrace247.com is your place for sim racing news. Pitwall Live, or pitwall.live, is live right now. In fact, you can follow live timing of these races there. In fact, if you need the link for that one, just hit !timings, I think, in chat. I'm saying that now. Ben told me earlier. But if not, it's there already anyway. pitwall.live/timing/oNiD. We've then got Caden Computers. So Dan Hyde runs Caden Computers. So if you need yourself any upgrades to your gaming PCs, or indeed a new gaming PC at all, then please get in touch with Caden. Sorry, I'm just following the chat on the screen. We're very, very keen to make sure there is no chatting about incidents in chat. So there you see some of the coaches just getting involved there to keep things on top. But of course, there is one more partner to mention, and that is the title sponsor of the oNiD Rookies season, and that is sim-stuff.com. That's where you can pick yourself up some high-quality, reasonably priced PC button boxes to help with your sim racing. So there we go. That covers all of our channel partners. But of course, our best partners are you guys, the drivers out there. Flag of the country to the drivers. Yeah, that would be nice. So the streaming information that you see on here is the stuff built into ACC. We are currently testing a couple of other packages to add something different to our streaming. So that's something that you might see in the future. But your suggestions coming. Always good to see. And you're absolutely right, Ben. It was there indeed. Pitwall.live/timing/oNiD for all of your live timing from this race. So heading off on warm-up lap number 2 is the field. At this stunning track, Brands Hatch, a bit of a classic. Used to be a grass track, believe it or not. Set in this rather dusty bowl in the southeast corner of England, down in Kent. So not too far from France, really. Don't worry, Jimbo, we will go full screen in time for the race. Fear not. In fact, just to please you, because I wouldn't want you to come and dive bomb my house or anything. Let's do it right now. There you go. Yeah, so Brands Hatch used to be a grass track for bikes primarily, and it used to run in the opposite direction, I think. Right now, this is what you get: a fantastic run through the grassy woodland of the southeast of England. It's probably the most undulation you get in the southeast of England, actually. There's plenty of it here at this natural bowl that is Brands Hatch, and I hear the dulcet tones of Johnny. You're back.
Back with a brand new rap.
Let's hear it.
That's a chicken one, but
good escape. I thought I was actually going to make you rap then.
No, D-Stack, I'm not rapping.
Yeah, do it.
Nope.
My name is Adam, and I'm here to say that D-Stack in chat is from the USA. That's as good as it gets, right?
Oh, God. Oh, good God.
That's
sorry,
get
guys.
Clipped, isn't it?
So sorry.
Damn it, Ben's going to clip that. I know he is. He's already clipped it. Anyway, more importantly, we are about to get racing once again. So that's why we're on the helicam. And you are watching the guys come through clearways. And when they get the green light, we will be racing for race 2. So can Bukov make it 2 from 2? Soundboard for next enduro, my arse. Bukov was complaining about tyres towards the end of that, I believe, so see if he can hold on to them a little bit longer. It's 30 minutes once again. Bukov for 2 wins or not? We're about to find out as we go racing. Rivera making a better start, but is Holman going to get himself straight back up into second? He's got the inside line as they come up towards Druids. Looks pretty clean in the background.
Yeah. All clean through turn 1. Little bit of problem in Druids though. Dan and a couple of others getting a bit bumpy, but they're all through safely.
So Bukov escaping out front, and Rivera successfully holding on to second place at the minute. This time last race, I think he was down to 4th or 5th already, so much better start for Rivera. We certainly know from qualifying that he got the pace. Just didn't quite manage to hold on to it in the race. That was actually a better wrap than my other one, but never mind. Yes, there we go. So Ben's already clicked it. Thank you for that. Then you can go off, people, you know. So let's follow the action. It always takes a couple of laps for everything to settle down. That was a bit of side-by-side action up through what used to be called Dingle Dell, and I still think should be, as we see Larissa Tata. There is absolute carnage in the middle of the field. Let's see if we can pick up a dear. There's even more carnage. This is the sort of thing that almost needs a red flag. We have got absolute carnage out there. Let's see the Larissa Tata incident that started it all off. I'm not saying it was his fault. I'm just saying this started everything off. That looked like unfortunate contact, and then just nowhere for anyone to go. And then we end up with cars all over the place.
Oh, well, Greg got hit that hard. He ended up on the Indy circuit.
It's really unfortunate for a bunch of guys there.
Yeah, a lot of guys in the pits. Quite well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars in the pits getting damage sorted. Let's see how hopefully they'll all come back out.
Absolutely. There's no live stewards in this, so we don't get red flags or any live penalties. But just for those of you who may be wondering, there is a dedicated incident panel, that independent incident panel, that will take a look at any video reports after this race. And we actually encourage drivers to incident report, not so that we can hand out punishments, but so that people can learn from this kind of stuff as well. Anytime there's an accident, there's always a reason for it, and people can learn from it. So the incident panel will be busy this week, methinks.
Absolutely, and the good thing is, if the guys can get their damage fixed, yes, they'll be a lap down. But if they can get their damage fixed, there is still points on offer, and you never know, that might be important come to the last race of the season. Finishing the race, and them extra 4 or 5 points that you'll get for finishing in your class could help in championships. You never know what's going to go on throughout the season, so we do encourage drivers to get back out racing, get their damage fixed, and it looks like most of them are actually coming back out, which is fantastic.
Absolutely, and of course laps might mean prizes as well. So we mentioned earlier that the title sponsor is SimStuff, and I have put up a button box for the person that completes the most laps across all official practice, qualifying, race and test sessions throughout this season. So the whole idea is just to encourage as many people as possible to do as many laps as possible. So yep, don't quit, get back out there, get more laps in, and you could be much more in with a chance of winning yourself a button box.
In the absolute carnage, Steve Orell managed to avoid it all, and he's currently leading silver class all over the back of Dan Hyde.
He is indeed, and Dan Hyde has actually got himself up to 8th. So he's obviously managed to avoid the majority of that as well, and that Bentley still looks in pristine condition. So good job, Dan. And as I say that, he runs wide into the kitty litter at Paddock Hill. Steve Worrell under some pressure from Ryan Davies. That's probably why he's so keen to get past Dan, even though they're in different classes.
Yes, Alex, you didn't... Well, not a punterino, but a little bit of carnage at the end of lap 1. They did the hard part and get him around turn 1 both times in the races, but it just only takes one person at Brands to be sideways across the track, and it can cause all kinds of carnage. But the guys have all been pitted, they've got their damage sorted, and they are back out on track with positions still to be taken. Unfortunately, it was most of silver class that got taken out.
They're all on a level field then, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean. You 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 drivers from silver class being taken out and having issues, all having to go in the pits. Their race is very much still on.
Absolutely. And Johnny said a little bit of carnage. Quite a lot of carnage. So yeah, go watch that replay back. But don't do it yet. Stick with us. You also don't want to watch the replay because you might hear my attempt at a rap, which was crap. Oh, I've done it again, look. There we go. Sablinskas all over the back of Larissa Tata. Why am I laughing at my own terrible jokes? Oh, Johnny, save me.
You're far beyond saving. Help anything. You're just gone, mate.
I wish I could disagree with you. I really do. Ricardo Rivera is holding on second quite nicely. So it seems like Holman comes into his own later in the race. So it'll be interesting whether he can get himself past Rivera and onto the back of Bukov again, like he was in the last race. Dan Hyde continues to hold off Steve Worrell, but Steve has pulled a small gap on Ryan Davies now, so he's probably feeling a little bit more comfortable. And you're absolutely right, D-Stack. If I don't laugh at my jokes, nobody will. Could not be more true if you tried. So everything just settling itself back down out there. We will have to make sure that we keep an eye on things a little bit further back in the field, because there are some displaced cars tonight after some of the first lap incidents, shall we say. But right now we're watching Larissa Tata, who unfortunately started it all. I'm not saying that he meant to, but there was an incident involving Larissa that really kicked everything off, and from then onwards it was like Pinball Wizard. But it has all settled itself down nicely. Everyone's got themselves nice and calm, and they're cracking on with their race, which is exactly what we want to see. We see Felix Ingeden getting past, I think that was... No, it wasn't David Evans. Don't know who he's just got past. It was Adrian Bond he's just got past. We've got a lovely battle between Bo Lamberts and Heike van der Veen in the two Aston Martins here. And Ingeden right behind them. Ingeden, probably the faster car in a faster class, looking for a way past Bo. And Bo doesn't make it too difficult for him, which is really nice of him, because it now puts Evans right onto his tail. Evans with a huge move up the inside, and unfortunately it didn't work. I didn't think that was going to work somehow. Sorry, it wasn't Evans, it was Adrian Bond. Thank you for the follow, Solo House. Let's just take a replay of what happened there. I'm not even sure if I picked up the right driver. No, I haven't. So it wasn't Adrian Bond either. So I don't know who it was who made contact with Bo Lamberts. Somebody did, in a very similar car to this one. I'm sure we'll find out later who it was. Johnny, what are you watching? What's going on?
I'm still watching the Steve Worrell, Dan Hyde battle. Well, it's not really a battle. I think Steve's just hanging on to the back of Dan. Obviously different classes, but they're about the same pace, so they're just kind of plodding along. But the more that these two are kind of stuck behind each other, it does mean that Ryan Davies is now right on the tail of Steve Worrell. So
he is, and we're picking that up right on board with Ryan Davies now. Oh, as there is a car, that's Jacques Morel just rejoining the track there. And that could have been a touch hairy, but wasn't. So if you were Ryan Davies, what would you be thinking right here, right now?
Thinking there's an opportunity to pass. I think if we can just stick on the tail of Steve, and with Dan not overly keen to let Steve go, then it's got to be there'll be an opportunity for sure to fly one at the inside, whether it be Paddock Hill or Druids later on in a couple of laps' time. That's for sure. Steve is all over the back of Dan. If Dan goes a little bit deep, and that would be enough to give it a position. Dan doesn't want to give it a position, which is silly really, because they are in totally different classes.
Oh, but Ryan Davies runs off onto the grass, trying to get a real good look at Steve Worrell, and that has cost him dearly. That has really cost him dearly, and that takes the pressure off Steve Worrell right now.
Does. I think Steve will be wanting. He's obviously quicker than Dan, and I think he'll be wanting to get past Dan as quick as he can to try and eke out a gap even further, because you've still got Felix battling his way back through the track, but through all the traffic. Obviously, he won race 1, so he'll be wanting to gap as much as he can. That's for sure.
So Rivera with the fastest lap of the race now, and gap down to just 0.4 of a second out front. So is Bukov starting to fade again in the similar way that he did last race, And also, I think traffic might become a bit more of an issue in this race because there's so many cars displaced after the lap 1 shenanigans.
Easy for you to say.
I try my best. But Rivera certainly not letting go of Bukov right now. And on the last lap, Rivera was 0.4 of a second faster than Bukov. So the pace is there for this McLaren. Bukov must be thinking, listen, when can I just get away at the front and be left alone? He was harried for the whole of the second half of the last race by Matt Holman, and now it looks like Ricardo Rivera is going to be the man to do that this time around. So they both get a little tail happy up over the crest. And that gap is not the 0.6 that it says on screen. It's a lot less than that. It is a lot less than that. Rivera getting much closer as they come through clearways. I reckon this is going to be about 0.3 as they cross the line, maybe even slightly less. It's 0.3. There we go. But Rivera just not quite close enough to make a move. Bukov gets it nice and tight through turn 1. Have you driven the McLaren much since the big update?
It was going to be my choice of car for the World Series for a little while. I did some practice laps in it, and it felt quite stable. The biggest downfall for me in the previous editions of the McLaren on different bops was the lift-off kind of oversteer, tail happy that you used to get. And I noticed that's gone from it, really. I think you need to be a certain kind of driver to be able to get the most out of the McLaren. I certainly can't. I was very quick at Kyle Army in it, but then in the other track I was well off the pace. So I've stuck with the AMG, which I can't really judge on my performance of the first race because I was in a wall for most of it. But yeah, a lot of people have said the McLaren it was a little bit OP up there with the BMW, but I think the bop the hot fix that they put in last week has just nerfed it a little bit, just put it back on a level with some of the other cars now. So I know Ben likes it. He's using it in the World Series. It does look nice. It just takes a certain breed to be able to get the most out of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I won't bother then because my breed is mongrel. So the Steve Worrell, Dan Hyde epic continues on. Ryan Davies is actually still second in class there, but obviously a fair way back after running deep, trying to stick with these two a few laps ago that we caught live. Ben says, stay off the curbs. I'm assuming he's talking about with the McLaren or just in general.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you just look at a curb the wrong way in the McLaren, it'll be the end of your race.
In fact, I'm surprised that just because I said curb live, that every McLaren didn't spin off in unison. There is Ryan Davies trying to recover from his moment. He's right back up with Matthias Heidenreich. He'll be looking to get past Matthias. Even though it's a different class, he'll want to get through. Matthias' Lexus is somewhat damaged. He'll want to get past that and see if he can get back on terms with Steve Worrell.
Just watching Felix Ingerden then getting very, very wide going into, what would it be, turn 4? And actually getting passed by Gabriel Simoes. So Simoes has now moved up to 4th in class in the silver class.
Brilliant stuff. We're back at the front now with Victor Bukov and Ricardo Rivera gap. Still at that regulation 4 or 5 tenths. Solo House, first time here. Good commentating. Think I'll be a regular. You are more than welcome, sir. And thank you for your kind comments. It's much appreciated. It's normally better when Johnny's not here, but I couldn't get rid of him out of the commentary box for this week.
Every week.
I jest because actually I have a lot of fun when I'm commentating with Johnny. It's always good. Mainly because I can absolutely rinse him.
Thank you. I'm going to stop calling you peg leg. I'm going to start calling you club foot, I reckon.
Oh, gee, if I had a club foot, it would be better than a broken foot. So I'd take that right now, to be honest. At least I could push a pedal on a rig with it. Anyway, never mind. So the gap out front is pretty much exactly where it was. Hyde and Worrell is pretty much exactly where it was, which is no gap between the two. Although they've both just taken a little run wide.
Oh, Steve, wow.
Steve's even wider. Oh!
And again.
That was he went off 3 times in 2 corners. I mean, that's impressive.
It's impressive. But he kept it in a straight line, which is equally impressive. So
Now,
I'm just trying to work out who that Bentley is that's currently...
That is Zach Finney, I think. Yes, it is. It's Zach Finney, who is 30th and last. So definitely was caught up in some of the early issues. If I was Steve, I would be letting that one go and tuck onto the back of that one. Yeah, I quite like Zach's livery. You know, it's a little bit crazy, but it's kind of cool at the same time. But yeah, Steve would do well to... Oh no, Zach's run off.
Zach's gone deep. Yeah, if I was Steve, would be letting Zach go. That's
Hang on,
for sure.
hang on. Ricardo Rivera into the lead. Let's see if a replay will show us what's happened. No, our replay doesn't go back far enough, so sorry that we missed that one. Don't know whether it was a move or whether it was a mistake from Viktor Bukov. If anyone saw what happened, let us know. But Ricardo Rivera is into the race lead overall. Sorry, Johnny, I cut across you.
I can't remember what I'm saying now. Oh no, I'm saying if I was Steve, I'd be, I would definitely be tagging onto the back of Zach and sticking to his tail and dragging him back up to Dan and getting past Dan. But he has got quite a good gap back to Ryan Davies now. So as long as he keeps it on the track, and commentator's curse.
He's gone off.
Steve Worrell is currently in the gravel.
Oh, so he is. Oh, and that's Ryan Davies just flashing past him, is it?
I think it is. Oh no, Ryan Davies.
No, there it is. Wow.
And Sablinskas as well, who's just gone off. So
we're going to pick up a replay from Ryan Davies' point of view in just a moment. We're just going to see how these guys get on down into Paddock Hill, because this is a battle for lead in class. This is a battle for lead in silver. And that one just settles down for a moment. So let's go take
He's going to have a look around the outside of Druids.
Nothing doing there. So let's go back and take a look at what happened. We haven't gone back far enough to see it, unfortunately, because we were too interested in what was going on live. But there we go. We'll just see the battle into turn 1 once again, because they were all over each other in those first couple of corners. Steve went for a look to the outside, but just couldn't quite get it done. Ryan Davies still in front. Quick check on our leaders. Rivera continues to lead, 5/10 clear, and was a 10th faster than Bukov over the last lap. 24.8 versus a 24.9. But that's still pretty close, that pace. Matt Holman doing 24.8s as well. So he's only 2.5 seconds down the road. It wouldn't take much for him to get back in on the action for the race win. Larissa Tata has now got Augustus Sablinskas all over him. They are different classes, so I think Tata doing the sensible thing and letting Sablinskas go. We've got some fairly damaged GT3 cars out there tonight, it's fair to say. No, he's not letting him go because he sends it up the inside into Paddock. And that, I'm afraid, is what you get for a dive into Paddock. Thankfully, Sablinskas didn't come off too badly. Just taking a look at that again. He had to take a rejoin there after that incident. Gap has come down out front to 4/10 now, so it was It was a 24.9 and a 24.8 again for the two leaders, but the other way round this time, so gap down to 0.4.
I'm not sure what's happened to Steve Worrell, but he's now in third in class, and Sablinskas has got past him. I don't know if he's had another issue. So, yeah, Worrell's down into
Sablinskas
third.
off. Sablinskas off into the gravel, just as you say that. So Worrell moves himself back up into second in class. It is all going on in this second race. It really is.
Yeah, may as well say that. Bukov's now probably, 2/10 off of Rivera.
He is. It's difficult to know where to follow on this race. We are back with the leaders. Gap is minuscule. It's almost not worth measuring it because Bukov is all over the back of Rivera. Bukov, remember, our winner in race 1. Let's go on board with him. And we see the red, blue and white McLaren in front. It looks a little bit slower at this point of the track. Bukov just dancing in his mirrors, trying to put him off. McLaren looks a bit quicker into clearways though. Let's see who's got the pace in a straight line.
You right there, Adam?
Yep, just slowly dying.
Well, can you do it quietly?
No. So I'm commentating. If I do it quietly, you're on your own, sir. Bukov right with Rivera. It seems to be when I get overexcited.
Parkin, you are right. It is some race for the lead. It was like it in race 1 as well between Bukov and Holman. They were nose to tail all the way through race 1. So it's good to see the battle at the front.
Absolutely, and that Merc should have the ponies down the straight, you'd think.
Again, if
close up.
No, I think if Bukov's getting towards the end of the race at 6.5 minutes to go, he said his tyres were going off in race 1. If he hasn't managed them as well this time around, again, he's going to be struggling for grip, getting it sideways. He's going to struggle to. He's doing well though to keep up with Rivera and make a race of it. But the more the battling, you can see that beautiful Bentley in the background, slowly closing that gap.
Is indeed, and I tell you what, all it takes is one little nudge between the two leaders, and Holman is right there. The gap between Bukov and Holman down to 1.6. It was 2.5 only 2 laps ago. So Holman definitely closing on these guys as well. Great driving from, I think that's Garrido, who's just jumped out of the way. We don't expect drivers to jump out of the way. It's not Formula 1. Don't expect them to jump out of the way for blue flags, but do you know what? It is appreciated when they do, especially when you've got a lead battle like this going on. You don't want to get in the way of that. Now, Rivera was earlier on the brakes, but then ran deep. Bukov has got a great run onto the back straight.
Be brave.
I don't think he's close enough. He's great defending, but how much will that tighter line then compromise him through the next couple of corners? Doesn't seem to have done. They both keep it.
But look at now though, less than a second up to Bukov.
Yeah, absolutely right. As Bukov gets sideways, big sideways movement for that Mercedes, and Holman now right with him. So after a whole race 1 of yellow Bentley in his mirrors, he's got it again in race 2, but this time the battle is for second. Rivera will breathe a sigh of relief ever so slightly because that gap has extended out first to second. But I think you're right, Johnny. I think the tyres are beginning to go on that Merc once again.
Yeah, it's obviously being in the lead and having to push. If you've got someone with you that's so close, you're going to have to keep pushing and keep pushing. And them tyres it's not going to help them tyres at all. And now Matt Holman right on the tail of Bukov, and he'll be looking to try and avenge race 1 and get past him. 2 second, he'll want to get past Bukov and see if he can catch on to Rivera. That's for sure, and try and get a race win. But it could be interesting. It only takes a little mistake from Rivera going deep into a corner, and all of a sudden we'll have a 3-way battle for first position.
Oi, oi, indeed. It's not just going to be the length of the race working those tyres hard as well. It's going to be the temperature as well. It's 26 degrees out there, air temp. 33 degrees is your track temp. That's not cold, so that will be pushing these tyres a little bit as well. And of course, you just don't know who's got their pressures right, who's got them wrong. You know, this is a sim that is super.
Got Sharon on Dan Hyde then coming down the back straight. Got a little bit on the grass, which hindered Sharon a little bit, but this is a battle for position, a battle for 7th.
Is indeed. I'm keeping an eye on the gaps out front as well, so we can jump back to that if we need to. Thankfully, the broadcasting tool gives us live gaps, so we can be pretty quick to jump to where the action is. But yes, you're absolutely right. Hyde is the meat in a Sharon sandwich right now, although Yotam Sharon is quite some distance up the road
big
from these
sideways
guys.
moment.
Now then. Is it just me, or have these three concertinaed back up ever so slightly?
They have half a second Holman to Bukov, and then just over half a second Bukov to Rivera. So this is going to be, like D-Stack says, it's going to be a spicy finish.
It's a spicier meatball, huh? Yes, that's my terrible Italian accent. Ben, you can clip that one as well if you want. Yeah, and Rivera just starting to maybe feel the pressure a little bit. Bukov loves to run a little bit wide out onto the grass creek there. There's still plenty of grip out there, but Bukov now very, very tricky
How brave
up
is
there.
Matt?
And
he's got it.
Matt Holman sends it up the inside. It's a great move. It's a great move. There was maybe a small amount of contact, and Bukov is flashing his lights. But from where I was sat, that looked like a really good opportunist move to me.
Yeah, it looked fine to me. Holman will be pleased with that. He was at the inside. I think Bukov didn't realise he was there. Went to turn in, and when it was too late, Matt was already there and at the inside and on his way past him. So now let's see how Holman does and see if he can get up to Rivera. And it will drag Bukov with him, I'm sure. I don't think this is done.
No, and I do wonder. I mean, Bukov obviously not very happy. He was still flashing his lights across the line a few corners later. So you wonder if he gets a sniff of Holman towards the end of this race, how much of a send that one might be. The old red mist descending possibly. But I'm not sure whether he's holding on to Holman or not. The gap is opening up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems to just open up a little bit. They'll settle down. They're going to have, what, maybe they might even get in another lap.
Now, sorry, Hyde and Sharon right together. So they were super close into Druids. Dan Hyde having to defend heavily into Graham Hill. And Sharon sticking with him. So the Bentley and McLaren right together. But I don't know whether Uval can find a way past in this last lap or so. I'm not sure whether the leaders will squeeze through for another one. I don't think they will.
Just coming through clearways, I think they might just...
Yes, they will. They will. And look how close Holman is now to Rivera. It was 9/10 the last time they went through a timing beam. That's not 9/10. That's just under 3/10. So Holman has a chance now to make a move on Rivera. No. Holman sideways. Holman sideways. So what about Bukov? Does Bukov close in on Holman now? Rivera might just get to breathe again, but I think...
Traffic.
It's the same traffic as the last lap, last race. I'm absolutely convinced of it. I mean, how that has happened, I don't know. But Rivera through nice and easily. And the three of them are through, so they're clear of the traffic. Good job, whoever that was. I'm going to need to lie down after this.
It's not over yet as well. Look how close Holman is. This is not over.
Oh, and Nightbot gives a smashing to D-Stack for the spamming. Nightbot's harsh tonight. I am keeping an eye on the Hyde-Sharon battle as well. And we've got Ryan Davies, I think, with Augustus Sablinskas right behind him as well. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on, and Steve Worrell has got Heike van der Veen all over him as well. But we'll stick with these guys across the line because this is it for the win, and it looks like Ricardo Rivera is going to hang on in that McLaren. The Bentley's not far behind. One more lap and he might have had a shot. Less than 3/10 between first and second. Rivera from Holman. So let's go back to Hyde and Sharon. If the camera can catch up. There they are, coming up through into this final sector now. And just a couple of corners left for Dan Hyde to try and hold on to 7th. And that would be some much better points than he scored in race 1. But you've got Rivera, Holman, Bukov, Van Oosenen, Shoveler. That is your top 5. And the first of the Charons in 6th. Dan Hyde finishes 7th. Second of the Charons in 8th. Let's go back to Ryan Davies. He is going to cross the line after an eventful race in 9th.
Great win for him though in the silver class. He'll be pleased with that, that's for sure. Don't know what happened to Steve. He's had a couple of incidents, but then we've got Sablinskas then coming second in silver with Felix Ingerden in 3rd. Steve just going around clearways now.
And there wasn't much of a gap between Sablinskas and Ingerden across the line. But,
and a man who's been around oNiD not very long, but it seems right at home here, is going to pick up the AM win. Heike van der Veen.
Oh, congratulations, Heike van der Veen. That is a great result for you, sir. Very, very good stuff. So, some brilliant racing tonight. Absolutely fantastic. D-Stack, you're right. It was entertaining. Guys in the chat, that was absolutely fantastic to watch. I'm absolutely shattered. Mark Brayson, thank you for the comment. That's really nice for you to say. But we've had 2 different winners. We've had battles all over the show. Johnny, I know you've got to run off for the debrief, but just a quick word from you on how you felt about round 1 of the rookies.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. Driver of the day for me, I'll have to go to Matt Holman. Fantastic 2 second place finishes. Looked absolutely on the pace. As a group, though, they managed to get through probably one of the most difficult corners of Paddock. The most difficult turn 1, definitely of Paddock Hill. They got through that cleanly. Yes, second race we had a bit of a coming together and a bit of carnage, but overall, I think they did really, really well. Really good racing, some really good stuff. And it will set them up now for the rest of the season. And I can't wait till next week, to be honest.
Do you want to know my driver of the day?
Go for it.
It's simple for me. It's Heike van der Veen. Second and a first in AM.
Quality.
The guy has been trying really, really hard. I think that is a really good return for you, Heike. So well done. Durables, thank you for the follow. Thank you to everyone who's followed us tonight. Some really nice comments out there. Thank you very much. Gonzo K46, first time here, only found out about it because of Matt Holman mentioned it about 15 minutes before it started. So great that you joined us. Princess JT, always great to have you along. Mr. Morel, it was Great racing, you're absolutely right. This has been an absolute ton of fun. I know all the rookie drivers and Johnny and all the coaches have got to jump off into the debrief right now. But from my point of view, I loved every single second of that, and I cannot wait to be back this time next week for another round of oNiD Rookies. But for now, I'll say thank you very much and leave you with our outro.